The year is 479 BCE. The war between Greece and Persia is not yet over. Salamis made the Persian Empire bleed, but it was not the final blow. Only a deep cut enough to slow the invader, not enough to force an empire to its knees. At sea, Persian ships lie shattered, but on land, the war still breathes. Hundreds of thousands of Persian soldiers remain, disciplined, numerous, convinced that time is on their side. Plataea is not a glorious naval battle. No crimson waves, no instant stroke of genius. Plataea is a test of patience, of endurance pushed to its limits, of men standing shoulder to shoulder, knowing that if they step back today, there will be no homeland left tomorrow. If Greece falls here, history takes a different path, not the path of citizens, debate, and choice. Plataea does not only decide the fate of Greece, it decides whether Western freedom is allowed to be born or buried forever beneath the boots of an empire. Mardonius is far more dangerous than that. He is a cold, calculated strategist, a man who believes that every nation, no matter how proud, eventually breaks from within. Mardonius does not seek to crush Greece immediately. He seeks to divide it first. He returns to Athens for a second time, not merely to occupy it, but to send a message. Temples burned, streets reduced to ash, not from blind rage, but from calculation. Alongside destruction come promises: gold, power, the protection of the Persian Empire, for those willing to bow. Mardonius believes the Greek city-states will betray one another, that fear will overpower ideals, that when pushed to the edge, men will choose survival over freedom. But he misjudges something essential. Greeks may argue, hate, even wage war against one another. But when freedom is threatened, they stand together. No surrender, no negotiation, only the resolve to fight to the end.
The omens are finally faithful.
For the first time in their fractured history, the Greek city-states do the unthinkable. They set aside hatred, abandon generations of rivalry, and stand as one. Sparta, Athens, Corinth, Megara, Tegea, names once turned against each other in war, now pointing their spears toward a single enemy, not because they love one another, but because they understand a brutal truth. Divided, they will be erased. The alliance is placed under the command of a Spartan, Pausanias, not a king of legend, not an immortal symbol like Leonidas, not celebrated as a brilliant genius. Pausanias is a different kind of commander, quiet, cautious, aware of his limits and his enemies. He does not chase instant glory. He is not tempted by reckless assaults. Pausanias waits for the enemy to make a mistake, waits for discipline, patience, and unity to become the deadliest weapons of all. At Plataea, that patience will change history. On the vast plain of Plataea, the two armies face one another. No war cries, no beating drums, only a crushing silence, stretching hour after hour, day after day. On one side, the Persian army, so vast it seems to swallow the horizon. Mobile cavalry, ready to sweep the battlefield like a storm. Archers drawn up in deep ranks, enough arrows to darken the sky. They trust in numbers and flexibility to destroy any foe. On the other, the Greek army, smaller, slower, but each soldier is a living wall of steel, shield locked to shield, spears leveled forward. No room for panic, no path for retreat. Days pass, neither side attacks, not from fear, but because both understand the truth. The first to strike may be the first to fall. Here, war is no longer decided by blades or arrows. It is decided in silence, in endurance, in the unshakable will of men who know that a single moment of weakness could redirect history forever.
The signs are clear, Regent. The gods grant us passage. Push! Hold the line, brothers! Push! Heavily armed, the Spartans were vulnerable to the relentless barrage of arrows and javelins from the circling Persian horsemen.
Mardonius studies the battlefield and reaches a conclusion he believes is certain. The Greeks are in disorder. They move slowly. Their formation appears fragmented. For a commander accustomed to victory through speed and pressure, this looks like weakness. He orders the attack. Persian cavalry surge forward as they have crushed countless armies before. Hooves thunder, shaking the earth. Behind them, archers prepare to unleash a storm of arrows. But Mardonius misjudges the most fundamental truth of Greek warfare. The phalanx does not need to strike first to win. Its strength is not flexibility, but endurance. When the Persian cavalry collide, they do not meet scattered men. They slam into a living wall, shield upon shield. Long spears jutting forward like the teeth of a steel beast. No retreat, no gaps, no collapse. Horses falter. Rear ranks press forward. And in that moment, Persia's greatest advantage becomes its greatest burden. The phalanx stands still. And in that stillness, an empire begins to break. Amid swirling dust and smoke, where metal clashes and desperate cries echo, Mardonius falls. No moment of glory, no final speech, only a commander swept away by the very storm he unleashed. His death is not merely the loss of a man, it is the collapse of a will. The last Persian commander on Greek soil dies where he believed victory was assured. With him dies Persia's dream of conquering Europe. Formations crack, orders cease to flow. Confidence dissolves faster than retreat. The Persian army turns and runs. Their camp is overrun. Symbols of imperial terror lie scattered in chaos. Retreat becomes panic. Panic becomes slaughter. Plataea does not end with a long, drawn-out battle. It ends in the moment an empire realizes there are limits numbers cannot overcome, and people who cannot be broken. Plataea is not the most spectacular battle of antiquity. There are no mythic last stands like Thermopylae, no dramatic naval triumphs like Salamis, but it is the most decisive. Because if Greece falls here, it is not just an alliance that collapses, an entire path of history disappears. No Athenian democracy, no Greek philosophy questioning reason, ethics, and humanity. No Rome to inherit and spread those ideas across Europe. No modern West as we know it. Plataea does not simply end a war. It protects a fragile yet powerful idea that human beings have the right to decide their own destiny. And that fate is decided here. Does not give birth to an empire. It does not crown a king. It creates no single hero for history to worship, but it achieves something greater. It proves that power is not measured only in land or numbers. That glory does not require one legendary name, and that ordinary people, united by a shared ideal, can shake even the mightiest empire. At Plataea, freedom is not granted. It is defended through discipline, patience, and quiet sacrifice. No one leaves the battlefield as a god, but all leave as free men. And for that reason, Plataea is more than a military victory. It is the final affirmation that, when freedom is shared, it becomes stronger than any empire. This is the last stand for freedom.